I'm the coach, and then the rest of the members in here are the team members.
Excellent. Okay.
So
All
just to
right.
give you a
Well,
little context, and we
sounds
got
good.
two matches from our last. We're doing some preseason games with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
other high school teams.
Okay.
These came out of that preseason game we just had on
Excellent.
Saturday.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. I'll look through the form really fast here and see if there's anything that stands out, and we'll get rolling here. So the team's average SR is plat. You scrimmage about once a month, play around 2 hours times 3 times a week, and ranked. You guys have your matches, obviously. How often are the matches happening?
These like the matches with the other teams. That's that once a month,
Got it. Okay.
and then as far as we were just playing competitive outside of that,
I got
and
it.
we're doing
Okay.
that 2 hour sessions 3 times a week.
Perfect. Okay, sounds good. Looking to get some individual coaching for everybody on the team where you're struggling, incrementally improve, become the top team in our high school division. Things that are holding you back, responding appropriately to flankers and dive comps, resolving differences in approaches. Okay, sounds good. Okay, so what I like to do with team sessions is I like to kind of run through everybody's in-game name and role, and then everyone kind of gives a little bit of feedback about what they feel like the team would benefit from. So we could go ahead and start with that. Let's just start alphabetically. Is it Goofy? Do you prefer Goofy? Like, what do you prefer being called?
Goofy's fine.
Okay.
My in-game name is Goofy the Boy,
Okay.
and I guess what I feel like our team should work on is more of being calmer with comms and stuff.
Calmer with comms, you said?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Why do you feel like that's the case?
It's just in moments we kind of repeat the comm and get loud, which causes
Yeah.
other comms to be shut down, which creates problems.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay. What do you feel like are the team's strengths? What do you feel like you guys do relatively well? Anything come to mind?
Probably positioning together, having, I guess, following our team captain.
Okay. 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 All right. Let's keep going here. Jedi.
Okay. You can just call me Jedi.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt. Goofy, what role do you play? I apologize.
Yeah.
DPS. You said.
Yep.
What hero specifically? Do you have any preferences?
I try and play Tracer, but when we're losing, I'll swap off to Reaper or May.
Okay. Tracer. Okay. Sounds good. Okay. I apologize, Jedi. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. Oh, wait. Forgot where I'm going with this.
Roll. Well, your role. We'll start with that.
Okay, I'm a DPS. I play
Preferred heroes.
cast
Okay.
and soldier.
Okay.
Better on cast.
Perfect. And then where do you feel like the team would benefit from?
I think dealing with flankers better because we have a tendency to kind of ignore them and then we get destroyed. So I
Sure.
think that would help a lot.
Sure. Okay. Okay. Sounds good. So just flankers in general. Okay. And then what do you feel like the team does well?
I think we're pretty good at positioning, like Goofy said,
Okay.
and listening to the team captain most of the time.
Positioning and listening. Okay. I'm not gonna even try this next one.
It is just a Nolix, but I
No.
just go by Alex because it is
Okay.
it's a name for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am the tank team captain on the team. I mainly play Diva.
Mm-hmm.
I really haven't found like a second hero that I've fallen in love with.
Yep.
But I definitely feel like where we struggle most is a lot of times I will end up if I don't peel, our backline dives, but if I do peel, then our front line gets taken.
Yeah.
So it's just a lot of that decision making,
Mhm.
and the conciseness of calls is definitely calming is definitely an issue. But as for what we do really good, definitely are taking high ground and resetting positioning. That is very it is very good. Of course, everything can be worked on to a degree, but that is
Of
very good.
course. Okay.
as well as I definitely feel like for the most part we are very good at like l- listening and moving in together.
Okay, sounds good. And you are the IGL?
Yes.
Okay. Pingu?
All right. My in-game name is actually Newt Newt. I play support, and I do play a lot of Juno, but I have also played like Ana and Kiri in the past for the team.
Okay.
Um, I think one of the things we really need to work on is overextending and playing around natural cover, because I do a lot of heal botting
Yeah.
because everyone takes a lot of damage. Um, I will say that we do good on initial positioning. It's just falling out of that position to try and like get that extra damage in or get that kill off. That kind of kills us.
Okay. Good initial positioning. And sorry for a little slow here. I'm just taking notes on all this good initial positioning. Chaos tends to fall apart. Okay. Coach Xerxes, you kind of discussed it already in the forum, but you specifically brought up dive as being a weak point here. What leads you
I feel like
feel that?
dive is one of the ones we struggle with. It probably more fundamental thing that I think we're struggling with is just reacting quickly and decisively to deal with changing conditions. So just getting better at doing that quickly would be something we need to work on.
Yep.
And then but I like the team's kind of I think we are getting better at picking good positioning and then using that, but we do tend to give it up too easily when I think we need to hold it. And so, that would be another area that I think we could work on is just holding our good positioning and not giving it up easily.
Okay. Okay. Good positioning. Okay, perfect. Let's keep going here. Is it Zach Larat? Zach?
Yep. So for me, I'm one of the healers. I mainly play Kiriko, but I also play Baptiste and Ana and Lucio on occasion. But I feel like I do the team does the best at their positioning once again, and we also are very good at going in together or setting up together. But once again, falling out of high ground and not resetting back to high ground is something that we struggle with. Just leaving it too early, something we struggle with.
Sure.
And then also not preparing for the flanks. I feel like we could prepare for flanks better, because I feel like we constantly forget to prepare for those flanks, even though we know where they're coming.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of compile here. Definitely feels like initial setups, initial planning phase seems okay. Obviously, as you guys said, everything is relative. Not saying it's perfect. It's just okay in relation to our other skills. But communication in terms of mid-fight stuff and stuff tends to get chaotic, and just knowing how to deal with flanks, knowing how to deal with flankers. Like maybe that's part of our issue versus dive is that we just really struggle to know what's not immediately on our screen, being able to control space, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's a very important part of dive. That's a very important part of Overwatch 2 in general, no matter what character that you're playing, but you're going to see the ramifications of not knowing how to do that. It's going to be a lot more punishing if you're playing versus dive, because those characters are going to be much more proactive with taking those flanks. And so we need to find out what we need to do better on that front. We'll go into more detail on the replay codes here. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to ask you guys at certain points, what was communicated, do you remember? But also, what should we be communicating at this point in time as well? So what we'll do is we'll look at our macro, we'll look at our strategy, but we'll also look at our communication at the same time. Now, the good news is that most students that I work with, most teams that I work with, vastly overestimate how much communication needs to be done. Generally, there isn't a lot that needs to be said or tracked. However, the things that people really screw up is they don't prioritize the right things consistently with their communication, and then they're also just not consistently communicating those things, period. I'll give you guys an example. What lane are we taking? What angle are we fighting for? What flank do we need to be watching, right? That's a very important communication to prioritize as soon as you guys have an ult plan, right? However, most teams don't do that, and when they do that, they don't do it consistently. And that's like the big difference. If you look at like top tier teams versus really like, let's say even like they're GM players, but they're not pros, right? The difference between GM players and pros, or even just really good plat teams and really bad plat teams, is not necessarily what they're calling, but how consistently they call it over and over and over, and they never forget. It's not always fun or exciting, but it's really important that you never have a fight where you let that go, because you will lose fights to just not checking your homework, not doing the basics of the basics. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
So we want to make sure that not only are we making the right calls, but that we're doing those consistently. And that's not really something that we can VOD review. However, we can absolutely see the results of that. Like we can look at a fight where you guys prepped and planned and things generally turn out pretty good. We can look at a result of a fight where you guys did not prep and plan, and you can see it in your gameplay. People will look lost or confused, and bad things will happen. So we'll use the replay code as background discussion about what we can and should call, and then we'll talk about how we can practice those things, not only in y'all's monthly scrim, because that's great, but also just playing ranked together. We can practice those things too. Make sense?
Yeah.
Now, last question. This one's really important. What is the SR discrepancy? I know you guys said around a mid-plat average, but are we talking about there's a couple of diamond players and there's a couple of silver players, or is it tighter than that?
So currently, I'm the closest to diamond at
Okay.
plat 1. Like
Okay.
I'm just right there.
Yep.
And our lowest is plat 5.
That's actually really great. That's awesome. Okay, good. That is a huge problem in collegiate high school teams where I've worked with teams that literally have masters to bronze, and it really becomes quite a problem. But that is excellent. That's a really tight spread, and that's a very, very good thing. Okay. Any general questions, maybe unrelated to today, but just general questions before we jump in?
I can't.
I had one comment just to add to
Sure.
the context of this. Is we're a fairly new team playing in high school, and we're like we easily beat the junior varsity teams, and we're like I feel like we're right on the cusp of dealing well with the varsity teams. But out of the the teams that are coming there, they are the top ranked teams. So we're just trying to break into where we can more. Generally we're losing against those varsity, but like I said,
Yeah, of course.
we're just trying to get to that next level.
Yeah, of course. Okay, makes sense.
I think maybe another thing is that we are the very first like homeschool high school team.
Yep.
So yeah, we're kind of like that representation. But I think a good I came from one of the top. When I did public school, I came from one of the top rated teams. I have 2 state wins and a national. So I think playing on but a lot of that was just because our tank was like extraordinary.
Yeah.
Where he was able to micromanage every little thing. I don't think that that's like the norm. I think
Sure.
there's a lot of things like I don't think that the tank should have to micromanage every player to
You nailed
a
it.
T.
Yeah, agreed. Absolutely. I mean, that's definitely the case. I mean, one of the things we're talking about here is that if at all possible, we want to be democratic. Now, what that means is that everybody has their role, but that people don't step outside their role. It doesn't mean that we don't have responsibilities. It means that we don't overstep our responsibilities. Does that make sense? So we might still have an IGL for rotations. We might still have an ult tracker or somebody that takes more responsibility with certain ults or certain situations or calling positioning more. But everybody must know their role and must fill their role. And so what that means is that there's no one person doing everything. That's a great point, and something, especially with y'all's relatively tight SR spread, that we want to avoid that. Like that is a big problem when you have literal bronze players. Like if I'm giving bronze players communicational responsibility in a Masters team, boy, that's hard, right? Like they just are not qualified at all. But you guys, you're probably more qualified than most teams. So, okay. Any other questions here before we jump in?
Don't think so.
All right, let's do it. Now, we have Oasis and Ilios here. We want to start with any one of those. Is there any preference here, Coach?
We'll just start with the first listed one.
Sure. Okay, let's take a look here. So, why this particular code here? Out of, I'm sure you guys played several games. I assume this is a ranked game. Why this particular code?
Yep.
The reason.
Speak to that.
Yeah. the reason that I gave this code was it wasn't the one where we got, because we had one where we got absolutely stomped,
Sure.
but I think this one shows where we had, because I didn't want to give one that's just all bad moments. I want to
I
have
get
some
it.
good ones for positive reinforcement and
Sure.
giving good, but also having some bad.
Yes. Yes. Of course.
Because bad is how you grow.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, so find a balance of things that we're doing well and things that we're not doing so well at the same time. So let me give you just a couple of really simple compositional advices, okay? So this is going to be like really simple stuff. So for building composition, so you have a Diva OTP. Okay, maybe that changes in the future, Alex, but for right now, it's kind of where we're at. Now, the good news is I think Diva is probably either second or third most flexible tank in the game, so I think you're probably going to be fine. And she's never a trash pick on any map. She's just either bad or great. There's no trash, so that's good. Now, in terms of your DPS, you've got, obviously you have your more range stuff. Jedi's got the Cassidy, Soldier, whatever, so you have slightly more range DPS options. And then you have the Tracer, Reaper, or whatever on the slightly more compressed options. Now, that's really good. That means on maps like this right here, you have a DPS that can help fight for space in here. That can hard flank all the way around here, but you also have a DPS that can take softer angles and, like, let's say poke from here, or take the high ground and poke from here. So you have that short and medium range, short and long range, and that's a really good dynamic to have. And then you have a little bit of that with your support as well, although I'm going to be a little bit more critical of your support combos. Now, you guys obviously don't need to overthink anything. You can make any composition work at any rank up until around Grandmaster, even in scrims. The one problem, if you're looking to optimize, is I look at something like a Juno BAP, and I see two supports that are a little bit fragile, that have a hard time supporting each other because they're very mobile. They don't have a lot of good ranged healing, at least BAP doesn't. And then you don't have a support that is very either flank heavy or short range heavy. So look at their composition, right? Moira, Lucio, both relatively good in short ranges, but both also very fast. The problem here is that Juno would like somebody to complement those shorter range spaces. In the same way that we like Soldier Tracer, Cassidy Reaper, Cassidy Tracer, and so on, is why we also like Juno Lucio, or Brig Juno, or Ana Kiriko. Now you might be thinking, well, Kiriko, no, what is that? Wait a second, isn't she kind of... Well, the difference is with Kiriko is she's so incredibly mobile that where could your Kiriko be playing right now?
Potentially, maybe not like right with the Tracer, but playing that sort of
Sure,
angle.
Right. You see what I'm saying? So you have somebody that can split off from the other support and do so not because she's super, super fast necessarily, but because she's super mobile. Does that make sense? So the problem with our composition right here is that we kind of want separate sightlines for our supports, but it's kind of hard. Like, where would your BAP go? Like, maybe I could critique and be like, I want my BAP here, or my Juno here, my BAP here, and kind of split yourself up a little bit. But there's not really a good split here. In terms of how you control space, it's kind of all in the same spot. And I think that's the problem. Now, I don't think this is a major problem on maps with like hybrid or escort. Why? Somebody other than Alex answer, because Alex has got all the answers, but I want somebody else answering. Why would a BAP Juno, BAP Ana, BAP, anything feel better on those maps?
Maybe because of the long sightlines.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's just more long sightlines to find, right? Like, could you find a long sightline off angle in Eichenwalde? Yeah, I mean, absolutely, right? There'll be two different sightlines that you could take, right? But here it's really hard, and a lot of King of the Hill maps are going to have problems like this. So what I encourage you guys to do, if we're trying to think like min-maxing your compositions, I would encourage you guys to avoid running, I think you need to run Kiriko with your hero pool right here. Now I'm looking back at Pingo's hero pool, Juno, Ana, Kiriko. Maybe Pingu bounces around between Juno, Ana, and you try to force Kiriko whenever you can. There's going to be certain maps, like let's say Busan Sanctuary, where there's very long sightlines. You guys could probably run whatever you want, but I would encourage you guys on King of the Hill and maybe even Flashpoint to try to play Kiriko on all of those modes. Just because she is the most flexible support player, and if you guys are good at Kiriko and good at offlaning with Kiriko, you'll be fine. Make sense?
Yeah. I'm pretty decent at Kiriko, but I've got a question. So would Lucio be fine in this comp?
Lucio would be great in this comp. I mean, Lucio is not amazing in this particular situation, and Juno Lucio isn't a quote-unquote meta comp, but you do, again, have a support that's good in short ranges and good with flankers. So, especially in the next couple of rounds, he's even better. It's even more compressed, right?
Yeah.
But only reason I'm not saying Lucio is because it wasn't at the top of your hero pool. Now you're like, oh, but I can play Lucio. I don't believe you. I mean,
Lucio is my highest rated SR. I only don't really play Lucio because my teammates don't want me on Lucio compared with a Juno. This is what I am told.
So this is a conversation that you guys need to have, but I want you guys to thin your support heroes pool down. Both Zach and Pingu had the broadest hero pool, at least when I asked them like what you guys played, and that needs to be trimmed down. I would say you want no more than 3, preferably 2 heroes in your support pool. Maybe you guys do like Juno Lucio, Kiriko Juno, on a BAP, an escort, whatever, but keep it tight. Work on your mechanics and your understandings of those characters. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I have a question about that.
Please go for it. Go for it.
Is it preferably 2 different heroes from the other one?
Explain what you
Or
mean.
is like a mix? So.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like not both heroes playing Kiriko. Doesn't have to be like like both of you guys being able to play Kiriko would be pretty nice. I would just say if you really like playing Lucio, Zach, that would be really helpful.
I do really like playing Lucio.
Then I would like you to play Lucio if you guys are at all comfortable with that, and then that opens up Pingu to be able to play. Like Pingu can play Juno, Ana, or Kiriko with Lucio. Like any of those 3 works. And then what you guys can do is if Zach wants to whip out the Kiriko on more open maps or Flashpoint or whatever, or just go without Lucio. I mean, Lucio is also really good in Flashpoint. Well, then you can run Zach swapping between Lucio Kiriko depending on its escort, King of the Hill, or Flashpoint. And then Pingu just picks Juno, Ana, or Kiriko, right? 2 out of those 3. Right? And whatever you guys feel like playing with, whatever Pingu feels like playing with at that map. You know what I'm saying? Like Juno on King of the Hill is pretty good, but maybe if you guys have like a Dorado defense, we whip out the Ana, something like that. Totally up to you guys. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Basically, what we're looking for is we don't want 2 slow, pokey supports on Flashpoint or King of the Hill if we can avoid it. I know Juno is not completely like that, but she's more along that than otherwise. And if you are going to do that, I think Kiriko is by far the most flexible because she is very much a flanker, and so she can help your Tracer here, like a Lucio or like a Brigitte in that front. Make sense?
Yeah.
And I have I have a thought real quick. So I think the resistance around playing the Lucio is, I think as a team, we don't know how to play around or work with the Lucio. And so I think we struggle a little bit on that. So maybe talking a little bit about how to work with the Lucio to make that work.
Great point there, Coach. So let's talk about the Lucio thing. So Lucio is really powerful for 2 reasons, and you really only have to leverage one of them. The other one is a bonus we like you to leverage, but maybe you guys need to work on that in the future. The easy one is that Lucio is just really good in small spaces. That's it. So if we're playing in this particular map, I want my Lucio taking angles or fighting in spaces where it's not wide open. Does that mean Lucio hard flanking with Tracer? Yeah, maybe. Maybe it does. Like that's a good enough reason to run Lucio. If we skip ahead here to the next point here, and we say, is Lucio really good in these small rooms? Yeah, he's amazing. He's amazing. He's got good damage. He's got good movement. He's got good boops. He's got good healing. It's great. The more compressed the map, the more valuable Lucio is. That gets even better on a map like this. Even just speeding out a spawn and then being able to fight for high ground or fight in this room here. It's good. That's it. Now that should not be daunting to you guys as a team. Does that make sense? Because it doesn't require you guys to change how you normally play just because you're running a character with speed boost. Okay? Now, the second point, and this you can probably see where I'm going with this, the one that's a little bit more challenging to play around, is the fact that you can speed engage or speed disengage. Here's the good news. You don't need to do it all at once. This is not a all or nothing with this character. It is simply, if you guys look at the situation and say, hey, we have tactical visor on a flank, let's push with that, let's speed boost in, that's it. That's fine. Is that the optimal play? I don't know. How do you do it with Lucio? Should you have your Lucio with your soldier? Should you have your Lucio with your team? Doesn't matter. Both are good. It doesn't matter. Just try it. See what happens.
Yeah.
So practice leveraging the speed boost in the most simple caveman way that you possibly can think of and just see what happens. Because even if you don't do it optimally, it's still useful. It's still useful. Lucio comps have insane ceilings, but that doesn't mean that you have to reach the ceiling, in other words, to justify running Lucio. Just picking him on compressed maps and occasionally trying to do a speed boost engage is more than enough reason to run Lucio right now. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah, don't feel overwhelmed like it has to demand. It doesn't. It doesn't. He's good. I mean, you look at the freaking win rate of this character in ranked right now without any communication, and he's still good, right? So you're totally fine. Okay. Any other questions before we jump in here?
The difference. So I know that I've watched like some of the other videos on the difference between like main and flex support and DPS. Is Juno considered a main or a flex?
Doesn't matter.
I was gonna ask that.
Doesn't matter, right? The difference that when we talk about flex support versus main support, those are old terms that don't really apply. And the only thing that they do, remember when I complimented your DPS pool? Why? Why did I compliment y'all's DPS pool? What was good about your DPS pool?
Because we had, they're small, as well as they were. We had a bit of close range and long range.
And that's all support pools are too. When people say main support, they mean a close range support. When they say flex, they mean long range support. That's not what main flex actually means, but that's what it essentially boiled down to. Is back in the day, you just played Lucio, and then you had your flex support flexing to Ana, Zan, Moira, and so on, right? Nowadays, your main support is the guy that over the years has just specialized in Lucio Brig because that's just what happened. And you've run other supports with Lucio Brig because having that dynamic of short range plus close range or long range support has always been good in the meta. I mean, how many metas have we had with a hit scan plus a flanker? Like, it feels like 90% of metas, right? It's the same thing with main and flex. So those terms don't really apply. Especially when you have comps like Kiriko, because she's so flank heavy, she can kind of fill that short range spot, even though she isn't technically short range. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So don't sweat it too much.
I'm just thinking an too old term because I am a very like OW1 player. I played in like the original December 2015 beta of OW1. Wow.
Cool.
Yeah, so I've been playing Overwatch a long time, so I guess maybe I just need to up my like up-to-date stuff.
yeah. I mean, it's simpler than you think is basically the way to look at it, right? It's like you just don't want two long-range supports on a map where it's really compressed or where rotations are really important because it's just your BAP is just going to be the slow guy, you know? It's not that BAP is unplayable here, but if BAP is going to be played, he's going to need someone to go with his tracer to allow him to relax. And I think that's going to be the key term there, and this is where I always boil down is map control, space control. It's like when you talk about problems with flankers, and as I kind of let this play out a little bit here, where are those flankers going to come from here? There's only one of two spots, right? If I'm BAP, I'm Juno, where are those flankers coming from? Well, somewhere here or somewhere here. And if I don't put resources into helping this or put resources into helping this, then we're going to have real problems. Does that make sense? So what we're going to work on today is we're going to work on the split timing approach, which means that different characters go different directions to help different people on spots that they're good at and do so at the same time. So let me ask you, is BAP Soldier, is that currently fighting for space that's good for those characters right now? Is this a good, nice sightline for my BAP? Is this a good, nice sightline for my Soldier?
Not really.
No, it's not. It's not.
Sightline.
It's not. Now, the intention here is that we're going to get high ground, right? But that's if you've won the space. You get what I'm saying? You have not earned this space. You cannot go here. You do this when you've already won the fight. So is it good that my BAP and Soldier are working together? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes, correct. So you guys have +1. My BAP isn't AFK standing with my other support brain off. Idiot, right? No, we're helping each other on a lane. Very good. Problem, it's the wrong lane. How do I know that? Because what does the map tell me? It says Reaper. It says Lucio. It says Kiriko.
Yeah.
It says Tracer. Okay. It doesn't say Soldier. It doesn't say BAP. Now you might be asking, well, where do I go? Well, you tell me. Where do you go?
I mean, as BAP, I like to play the center spire.
Sure.
Depending on like how the fight's going.
Yeah, go for it. Now you're like, oh, but that's main. I don't care. Who says what's main, right? You don't need to control 3 different lanes at the same time. You just need 2. If your BAP goes here, and your Diva goes here, and your Juno stays here, maybe your Soldier plays main as well, or somebody helps Trace over here, that's better than what we're doing right now. Because we have the same amount of off angles, but we're playing off angles that make more sense with the characters that we're playing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense? So you guys
Yeah,
can be a little
makes-
bit selfish about how you're setting up. Like if I'm playing BAP here, I could be like, yo, so I don't want to play here. I don't want to play here. And you don't want to play here either, because we should often be working together because we kind of like similar sightlines. He's more flank heavy, but we both like longer sightlines, correct? So
Yeah.
I like the fact that we're helping each other. I like the splits that we have here. I'm just disappointed at the spaces that we took. We made the wrong spaces.
Makes sense.
Make sense? Okay. And meanwhile, Goofy is doing the anti-dive thing. What's Goofy doing right now?
He's helping us to make sure we
1v1
don't get
against-
flanked.
Right. Denying the flank. Now, what if
Yeah.
Golden wasn't there? Where would Goofy be right now? Like, let's say Golden was with her team over here or flanking here. Where would Goofy be?
He would be probably playing. He would probably be playing same like hallway, but the hallway that's at the top of the screen.
Right.
Kind of pressuring that
so-
because he has a med pack there.
Right. So he'd have a full flank all the way to their backline. You see that?
Yeah.
So either you're going to mark their flanker or you're going to get a free flank to backline. Bingo. That's it. So I really just don't like where we're fighting. Like this Venture, Moira, Lucio, Junker Queen is terrifying. And you guys could feel it, right? Like even though they gave up that space, this feels terrible. There's the rotation. There's the lamp. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't have any critiques with how we're moving right now. We're definitely trying to get away. We're trying really hard. The problem is you guys are fighting in horrible space. Now, the good news is that Goofy not only bullied Golden out, but Golden just gave up. So Goofy has the flank for free. Who has better map control right now? Well, you guys are fighting in terrible spaces, but at least you guys have a flank. They have nothing. So when they all run you down, you all run away, and it works because they didn't have a flank. And so you actually end up surviving and winning this fight, maybe, looks like? Yeah, because you guys won the angle. Bad space, good map control. That's the way to look at it. So next time, if we're going to do our splits, I want us to think more about where do our characters want to fight. So now this is the important part, because we've had time to think about it. We've had time to think about space. What do you guys think of the split right now? At the start of this fight.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, it's better, isn't it? Why is it
I-
better? Obviously.
Well, we have high ground map control. We still have point presence while having the Diva be able to put front line presence.
Sure.
And then our Tracer is able to pressure the back.
So I'm going to have you discard all that Overwatch 1 crap in the world. Are we all playing good spots for our characters mostly?
Yes.
Are we all playing quote-unquote together? Like not all in different spaces, but like all kind of drawing the line in the sand in the same spot?
Yeah.
I would say, yeah.
Probably. Who's the one who's potentially overextended here? Can you spot them?
Tracer.
Right, why? No, Tracer was fine 5 seconds ago, but why does Tracer need to back up now?
Because
she's
there's
getting
three
dived.
people staring at
Right.
me.
Your team
she's
can't
getting
help
questioned.
you. Your team can't help you, right? Now, you were hoping that they wouldn't check you, but they did check you. So what do? You run away. Why? Because you don't need to fight. They're not doing anything outside of chasing you, ring around the rosy. Meanwhile, you guys are accruing point charge. It's fine. Just run away. So this is the first major mistake that we've seen, because
So is
we're
that
not
just him not being decisive enough about just running away and just saying, "Hey, I need to
Well,
go,"
that's a great
'cause they're all
question.
looking at us?
So that's more of a question for Goofy here, because the question, Goofy, is did you
Okay.
know where we were taking this engagement?
I just, I probably should have left as soon as I sold that.
So you did have the information to know that we're not fighting here. So you're just a fool. It all happened. You're just Goofy. Get it? Okay. No, listen, we've all made those mistakes. Our supports make these mistakes. Our tanks make this mistake. It's going to happen. But when this happens, that's actually a good thing, because that just means it's only Goofy's fault. It's not a communicational issue. It's not a team issue. It's just a mechanical mistake. Does that make sense? So next time, let them come in. Let them just keep holding the flank. Keep holding the flank. Rotate away. Rotate away. Even Alex here, to be honest with you, mate. Like I honestly don't even think you need to really go in this far either. Like we don't really care what they do. You know, like as long we want to fight as a team. So that might mean when they walk into point here, when they walk into point here, when they rotate, let's say here, right? We could shoot them because we just want to play where a BAP soldier can contribute. You know. So the problem here is that we took engagement in a bad spot. And the reason why I'm drawing lines to you there, Alex, is because I also felt like you were a little bit out of touch with where fights are happening too.
Yeah.
I felt like you were being a little bit too far forward. And so now, obviously, like this is kind of unfortunate. It's a good play by the Junker Queen, but a lot of this is just like, even if our Juno dies there, it's going to be very expensive because of the map control that we have. But we just didn't have the control anymore. We didn't have the space, and so now it doesn't really matter. Okay. Yeah, I mean, even here, like, we're trying to hold high ground, but...
Yeah, should we be calling a disengage and get out at this point, or should
Okay.
we try to hold that high ground?
Doesn't matter, just needs to be executed well, whatever you do. So you guys got a kill onto their Lucio, and they were capping point. So you felt like there's a chance here. My Tracer's almost back. This is basically 4v4. I think we can hold this. I think you're right. You guys were like, let's just give them point. We're down 1. Let's wait for a Tracer to come back and then fight. And we're still holding space that's good for us. Maybe for you, Alex, I'd probably focus more on marking the off angles. Like this is all too far from you right now. So you might as well look for this kind of stuff here. Like this kind of stuff here, right? That's kind of your mistake.
I'm not playing my effective range.
Right. And so do you notice here, we're not talking about whether you should be going for tank or for backline. The answer is just what's closer to you right now, right? Because either one of these things help. Now, the other problem here is let's just not overcomplicate it. I mean, you're dead. If you get knifed, you're dead, right? I want to highlight, though, part of the reason why Jedi got knifed is because Jedi's getting freaking rolled by a Tracer. Where did the Tracer come from? Where my D.Va should have been marking. You get what I'm saying? So this is just a good play by the Junker Queen. It's a bad play by Alex, partially bad play by Jedi as well, and once again, Goofy gets picked off early. So I don't think there's really any major problems with the space that you guys are controlling. We just needed to execute better mechanically, and this feels, frankly, like we're staggering a lot. Maybe we keep feeling like I'm skipping forward here to go to the next fight, and I keep skipping, and I keep skipping, and I keep skipping. And honestly, even this doesn't feel too bad, but Alex has to get back in the mech there, right? Like, if you're like, oh, we almost got a pick here, and we just don't get back in the mech, Like, so maybe some of the staggering was just mechanical stuff, because if your D.Va gets back in the mech, you guys do win this fight, but yeah, we kind of flubbed it up. And I am going to skim over this because if it's a just goofy error and mistake, then it's not really worth looking at unless that happens consistently, because we need to find the consistent problem here. Okay. Like here's an example right here. So we've had plenty of time to kind of catch our breath and think about what we need to do here. So right now, what's the problem here? Can you guys spot it?
We're 2 grouped up.
Right. Now I know why, because it's just blood in the water, right? Panic. So who is grossly mispositioned right here? Who's not controlling space correctly?
I would say that our Tracer was probably playing frontline too much.
Okay, well let's look at the context of that.
I was probably pushed up too far a bit past choke.
Okay. So I'm looking at this here. Tracer comes in from the lane, gets the 1 clip. Recalls probably unnecessarily, and then this is stupid. This is micro stuff, right? You don't have your recall. You're not even on an angle right now. You re-peeked on main. That's correct. That's a really unforced error from Goofy, right? So the starting on the angle is good, but this is really silly. Make sense?
Yep.
But that's not all. Who else is mispositioned here? Alex, I don't think you're mispositioned. We're closing our effective range. Newt's with you. Jedi, what the frick are you doing? Yeah. Right? So this is the problem. When fights get chaotic, you must stick to your principles of what you know to the character, which is I need a little bit of range and I need a little bit of an angle. That's what Soldier does best, okay?
So I should be taking the right side?
Why not left? Now, obviously, we know Venture's there, but you didn't know that, right? So why not left? What if there's a Tracer there? What if there's a Lucio there? What if there is a Venture there? Are you more equipped to dealing with fighting here, or are you more equipped to dealing with fighting here? I mean, the answer is obvious, right?
Yeah.
Now, the crucial answer here is when should this decision have been made? And I'm going to go back. And the answer is now. You should have already been moving this direction from spawn. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You should have already been, let's kind of time it correctly, here. This is where we should have been. And you can kind of see my point here right now. So this is where you guys are like talking about like the chaos of fights. Like things get split and we lose positions. That's almost an impossible problem to fix entirely. However, you can apply a lot of emollient to it. You can make the problem better by making sure that if things are going to get chaotic, at least we're playing to our effective spaces. So we're maximizing our value. Because I look at this here from you, Jedi. What value are you providing here?
Very little.
Very little, right? In fact, you're almost demanding more resources than you're actually outputting because you're either doing no damage or you're dying, right? And the problem there is not that you weren't fighting, quote unquote, as a team. This is a very chaotic fight, right? This is just chaos, right? It's that you're not in the space that's correct. So instead of Newt being able to do things effectively, Newt has to heal pocket you, which then takes off resources from Alex, which takes off pressure from frontline, and so on and so on and so on. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this isn't just about Jedi, though. This is a good moment for, my Bat player, my Diva player, my Tracer player to reevaluate the space that you're in mid-fight and be like, am I playing my effective range? Am I controlling an angle that makes any sense? And the reason why that's so powerful is that because it's a selfish thing. It's something that you don't rely on your teammates to do. You can do that by yourself. Go ahead, sorry.
I think one of the things I should have played better there was the corner in that second doorway. I pushed past that, and that forced me to fall all the way back, which gave up space. So if you played that right corner.
Sure. So if we're talking about how we're going to use our timing in our team play with all these off angles, Alex, what I encourage you to do, and the same measure of you're here, like you really wanted to fight here, right? There's going to be a two-step process for you. Where are we fighting? Well, that's pretty obvious right now. We're fighting here. And then 2, when are we fighting? Okay, so if you want to walk through this joke and push in, I need you to say, I'm pushing, I'm going 3, 2, 1, and then do whatever you want to do. Even if it's just peeking and shooting. Give Jedi a timing window of when he can peek for his visor or peek for his ankle. Give Goofy a time for that. Give my Lucio player or Kiriko player or Newt a timing for when to use speed ring. You get what I'm saying? You notice that we're not even very clear like what we're pushing or how we're pushing or the strategy. We just need to know the basic timing of when we should start doing things more aggressively. Make sense?
Yeah. At the beginning of the round, I did say that we wanted to take that high ground.
Sure.
But
that's your problem, right?
Otherwise, yeah.
But see, that's not what I'm asking you to call. When I'm asking you, I'm saying where are we taking a fight, not where are we pushing necessarily. Because when you said you wanted to push high ground, that makes a lot of sense for Diva. Who does that not make sense for?
It doesn't really make sense for our Juno and Tracer.
Sure, but even more than that, Juno Tracer can fight for the space effectively, but they don't really want the high ground. BAP Soldier cannot fight for the space effectively, but they want the high ground. Let them make those decisions. You say, I'm going to fight for high ground. Are you guys ready? 3, 2, 1, fly up. And then just let them do their thing.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? And I think that's where the line between micromanagement and knowing what to do. So your thing is going to call the timing of that engagement, but you're going to leave the details up to those individual players. And that's going to be a challenge for you guys, right? Like Alex obviously has more map knowledge, knows more macro strategies, watched more professional Overwatch, so may know the optimal positions. So you guys are going to have to put some thought between fights about where you want to go. Like right now, we're calling going high ground, and because we're up a couple, it works. But here's a real question, Newt. Where do you want to play right now? Is high ground good for you here? Is there a better position for you?
I'm
It's tricky, isn't it?
I mean, I probably should have been playing very much with the tank, pushing heavy and hard, pushing hard.
Sure.
But I have a tendency to just follow the tank into battle because.
Sure. So I'm challenging you to do better than that, right? That's kind of my point. Now that might mean falling tank in the battle 85% of the time, but I actually look at the situation right here, and I'm thinking, okay, Juno's relatively mobile, Juno's relatively fragile. I don't really have much of a sightline at all right now. Where could you go? Put your creativity a little bit. What do you see?
To the Spire, maybe.
I could probably go to Spire, play that, and then I'd have more of a sightline down the angle.
Yeah.
He's holding and Alex.
Yeah, you might end up being able to help them a little bit more. Now, is this more risky than where you are right now? Not.
Yeah.
Kind of, sort of, maybe. I mean, Venture's about the only thing. But it depends, right, exactly.
Yeah.
But you're looking at see, this is the key thing here. I'm not asking you to memorize this rotation. I'm saying looking at the situation right now, what makes the most sense. And it is absolutely going to Spire. Now, if they have a Genji here, no. But if they had a Genji here, then this position would be better, right? So I guess my point is look at the situation, decide what makes the most sense. Because right now, this does feel a little bit context, like you're not thinking about the situation correctly, which then leads you to making rash decisions, which then is going to get you killed. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So think about it. Take the time to feel like, hey, I don't have to heal bot Alex for every single millisecond. I'm going to allow some brain space for me to think about what I can do best. Because I'm looking at this right now,
I'm
And
not really sure what this visor was.
yeah, we just don't have much of a sight line here. And I think the major problem here is, obviously the visor's not good, but my supports aren't taking space either, right? Why? Like, look at my support. This is the first time we've been clumped as 3. You guys see this? It's the first time, right? And it looks pretty ugly. I'm not going to lie. We don't have sight lines on anything right now. We're not taking Spire. We're not taking left. We're not taking right. We're not taking any space whatsoever. And so we've got a little bit of pressure from a Diva, a little pressure from Tracer, but even by the time that Newt tries to cap point, the visor's already done. So just not taking as much space as we ought to. Okay, and then I think this is where Alex is trying to decide pressuring point. This is fine. If the peeling is convenient, it's fine. But yeah, I think the main thing here is we just did not find enough value out of our cycle fast enough, and so we kind of get cooked.
Yeah.
Now, last thing I want to point out here, and again, this is going to be individual responsibility. First things first, what positions do I want to play right now, and then communicating, like timing those things appropriately. Second thing, it is offensive to me that we've not popped either support ult at this point. And I want to know why. I want to know why this has not been pressed.
I think that's definitely a weak point of ours where we aren't and I think that's mostly on me as the IGL not calling what ults we're gonna use during a fight.
Okay. All right. This is where democracy will ruin or will reign. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I had one thought on this before. Can you talk a little bit about like ult usage and like I feel like a lot of times we sit on ults and we're using a more reactive instead of planning like engagements where we use the ult to initiate an engagement.
Sure. Well, the first things first here is it looks like we had a plan to use a push of the tactical visor. No, that seemed like that was part of the first plan. Yes.
Yeah.
We didn't really make a plan for that, but
right, but okay, so right, the execution was really bad, but there was a plan, right? So we had some time, we called a visor, doesn't work out. Okay, so you guys have got the first layer of fight planning down, which is between fights. Think about what ult we want to use and how we want to set it up and go from there. It could be a combo, it can be one ult, doesn't matter. Failed miserably because you guys suck. Boo! Right? It happens. No big deal. Now, this is where you guys can be wizards. You guys can clutch it up. All right? Because this is going to happen. Doesn't matter how good you guys are. Doesn't matter if you're the pro players. Even pro players waste ult. It just happens. So don't feel too badly about it. The question is, what do you do now? What do you do when you call an off angle or call a flank and it just doesn't work? You need to focus on what can I do with the abilities I have now. So Newt, we're going to look at your POV, and I want you to tell me what can you do with your ultimate before you die. All right? You tell me when.
I probably could have thrown it here to like help stabilize, and then we
like
could
right here.
Right here, and hard push their team once they were in.
You got it. Okay, you nailed it. Okay, let's jump ahead to night.
I mean, I could possibly amp Matrix somewhere where I can see the majority of my team to help heal them, better sustain.
So, but I want a real answer. I want to tell me when, where, starting from now. When would you do it? Where would you do it?
Probably about now.
Sure, why not?
Well.
You're like, oh, but I might get booped. I might get dove by Tracer, so kill them with it. Have a tool to better deal them, right? Clear them off, you know? It's not the most consistent ultimate in the world, but use it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Now, what if you use both support ults? Okay, maybe you win the fight.
Yeah.
It's better to overuse than underuse. Now, what I'm asking you guys is to set realistic expectations. It's the same thing when you guys were talking about the Lucio compositions. Is it optimal to blow both support ults at the same time? No. Is it even optimal here that we're in a position where we didn't win the tactical visor? No, we should have won it, right? But that's where we are. So what we're asking you guys to do is to do one step better than where we're at right now, which is when things don't go well, you as an individual have individual responsibility to communicate or even just to freaking use your ultimate. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Most important thing. We can make mistakes, we can overuse, we can under-communicate, but we must start by using the ultimate now.
Yeah.
Okay. Because in this situation, I'm going to go ahead and tell you flat out, Juno or BAP window wins you this fight. It's messy, it's ugly, but you're not going to have that opportunity to nice fight plan and stabilize and draw everything up on a checklist here. You're not going to get that opportunity, and by the time you do, it's too late. Does that make sense? And if it makes you feel any better, I don't know a single professional team that could effectively, perfectly, professionally, cleanly fight plan in the middle of all this chaos. They just let it rip.
Okay.
Now, what professional teams would do better than you guys is they do something called layering. They would go into the fight and say, we're going to pop Visor, they're going to pop Beat, and then as soon as they pop Beat, we're going to use one of our support ults, probably BAP window if we have good spacing. Okay, ready, go, and that's it. That's something that you guys can work on, but you guys don't even have to do that if you don't want to. We can just use the ults, see what happens. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions so far?
Well, what would you say is the best way to use a Apple like Matrix?
I'm not going to tell you. You should know the answer to that. And if you don't know the answer, go experiment with it.
Well, yeah. Should I pop it in front of my team to do more damage? Should I pop it behind my team with my support to help sustain our team? Or is that just a situational thing?
Situational? I don't know. What do you think?
Probably situational.
It's probably situational. More often than not, you're probably going to use it mostly for yourself, but if you got a soldier with you, let it roll.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, there's been situations where I've used it to either get a pick on the tank if he's like overextended, or I've used it to kind of flank the backline by putting it behind the enemies.
That's fine.
Putting a lot of pressure on the backline.
I will say one thing is that I think one of the reasons why people don't use ults is there's a lot of pressure with that first ult to feel like you did something. But the rule of Overwatch is that the first ult almost never secures an elimination. And if it does, it's usually a mistake from the enemy team.
Yeah.
But what it will do is it will force cooldowns, it will create clear space, it will force resources, it will distract, which then the slam dunk follows, right? Like you're the alley-oop here. That's the key thing. So if you pop a BAP window, if you pop a Juno ult, I don't care what it is, tank support, DPS ult, and you don't immediately get a kill, as long as there's a fight happening, the ult's probably getting value that you just don't see or don't know. So don't feel badly about it. Make sense?
Yeah.
So I think when you guys if you guys want to layer up or level up your fight planning, you might even have that factored in. So we're going to, open with BAP window and then tactical visor, or we'll open with this and then we'll do that. And so it's like, don't feel bad about, I don't want to use my ult and waste it. That actually, a lot of times if you use an ult, don't get a kill, it's still the right thing to do. It's still optimal. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think that's part of where a lot of the hesitance comes from.
Yeah, it's embarrassing, right? I popped my Juno ult, nothing died. That doesn't mean anything, right? It's fine. Might be fine.
I will say that's one of the things that we probably do good about whenever we do misuse an ult. We don't. I definitely think that we don't try to very well point it out. I think we're very good about mistakes happen.
Yep.
Let's just recoup and make sure this next fight and. Yeah.
Yeah, it's addressing problems when you can. In the middle of a fight's not a good time to address the problem, right? You got to focus on what we're doing right now. So key things to focus on here. The initial setup phase, you guys had the right intentions of controlling angles, but the problem was that you guys are forcing bad space for your heroes, partly due to, I think, no offense, Alex trying to micromanage and focus on what he thinks is optimal. High ground's good, but Soldier BAP can't fight for high ground versus Jugger Queen, Tracer, Lucio on first drop, right? You got to be patient, right? So let people control space that works for them. Right. And then as fights devolve and get messy, try to reevaluate, where can I go? Where can I go? Where can I go? Do the same thing with ultimates, and we're cooking. So let's keep going. Now, I'm going to overhead this right about now. What do you guys think? It's really the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a terrible space for BAP Soldier, but I am so impressed that you guys are working together. I'm like, what is this angle? You guys are going to get turbo smoked if anybody finds you here. But what's funny is this has an okay option of at least forcing resources because, we are controlling lanes. I've got my Juno Zarya here. I've got my Tracer on the deeper flank. And, it's like you guys are doing the wrong thing so well. I'm impressed. So, good stuff. Now let's fix it though. Let's fix it. So BAP Soldier, what kind of lane or space do you guys think that you want to control on this map? What makes the most sense usually?
Maybe the lane where the arch is, kind of look down that long.
Sure. Closer towards point. Yeah. I mean, honestly, you guys could even stack with your tank and split off more towards coast side. So Alex kind of plays here and you have BAP Soldier playing here and then maybe your Tracer goes with you or maybe your Tracer goes point side. I don't know. But this is it's like you guys are mimicking a really nice split, but doing it in the spaces that just doesn't make sense for the characters that you're playing. This would be funny if you guys are running Lucio. I mean, even Cass would be better here. Lucio Cass on here. I mean, Cass isn't exactly a brawler, but he's better than Soldier. You guys are missing the mark here. So, we get partial credit though. And I'm not just criticizing here. Like legitimately being in the wrong space but doing it together, that's still good. Like that, you're still gonna win fights off of that. Go ahead.
I'm not sure, but I think that they banned cast because we were doing like a ban system of our
That's
own.
fine.
I think
That's fine.
cast of it, but-
That's fine. That's fine.
Wait,
do you guys
no.
have? No, go ahead.
We banned cast to prevent them from banning cast. So then
No, on the
that I
second
can
round,
play
remember-
cast the next game. since
I
they-
see what you're saying. You guys are like, hey, we don't have to play cast. We can make it work. Yeah, I mean, this is fine. This is not a terrible
Well-
soldier map either. So
Yeah, cast shouldn't have been banned on this second round.
Yeah.
Or wait,
Well-
never mind. This is the second round, so
yeah,
cast-
it
Alright,
doesn't matter.
you know
It's
what I'm
fine.
saying.
Either way, it's fine. Yeah. So this is like
Yeah.
more of a deeper flank for soldier, assuming that they're going to be here, but then they throw everything away because they rotate here. You just got to be careful about spaces like this. And honestly, if you hear them, you got to be real careful now because they will drop on you and they will ruin you. So I do like. This is kind of a mistake from Newt here. I'm curious why this rotation here. Newt, this is where I would just stay with Zarya, not because you have to stay with Zarya necessarily, but because you are worried about this person, I assume. Am I correct?
Okay. You can clearly see I was being really indecisive right there. I
Yeah.
was getting really mixed signals from the coach and Alex, like, because Alex wanted me to go with him, and then they actually swapped it up like last second.
Sure.
They were like, "Oh, actually, go take high ground with Soldier and Bap." So.
Sure. I mean, this is just a good general reminder. Just focus on your own individual
Yeah.
value here. Like, don't float. Like, I wouldn't want you here, but at least we'd commit. You should probably play more open space here. That makes more sense with Juno usually, especially with the
Gotcha.
fall off change, right? So
Yeah.
now, does that mean going with your tank? Well, if Alex goes here, maybe you could play back. But if you're Tracer here, Tracer Juno on this lane here would also be pretty good, right? We could talk about a 3 or 4 man torpedo. We get some chip damage, some healing on Tracer. It'd be good. Again, it's like who you pocket really depends on what space that you want to control. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, like, you go here. This doesn't make any sense. Like, this would be scary as Brig Lucio. It's really scary for you. And so you're just basically on a solo angle without the ability to heal, which is already suboptimal. But also, you're not really playing a range that's optimal either. And then that kind of goes for your BAP soldier as well. So you guys get destroyed. So you guys have all the map. You guys are controlling angles way better than they are. I mean, even this from you, Newt, is really good. Okay, they're giving me high ground for free, so now I can play my range, This is really good. And it's why you're able to get the kill there, is the space that you're controlling. The problem is that you guys just started in the most horrendous positions I've ever seen. Now, this is still winnable because you guys actually now are controlling good space. You see it? Zarya is here, Tracer on the flank, BAP Soldier and BAP Juno, in height. So there's a chance here. And see, they're prioritizing capping point over winning the fight. So yeah, you guys are going to win this. But yeah, you notice that the second that we're able to get to good spaces, more open ranges, more open lanes, things work out. What is happening here, Goofy? What is going on here?
I have.
Yeah, we really have to work on your post-recall behavior. It's more of a micro thing. I love the angle. I love the lane. I think going for the clip there, finishing and recalling out was great. But this is like now the second or third time that you've died because you just act as if everything's fine and dandy. It's not fine and dandy. You're not expected to pop off anymore. You did your job. Now be patient and pressure, but do so conservatively. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because this death is so incredibly unnecessary. That being said, I mean, I like the laning we got going on here. Juno top, Soldier on the flank. Doesn't get knifed. Zarya is fine. Like, all we need to do is have Alex drop, and then we're cooking. Alex, you're overthinking this whole high ground thing. You don't benefit from high ground. You can start from high ground if you want, but you're a close range character like Diva. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You want to get in people's faces, right? So you use high ground to drop onto people. You don't stand there. Your Juno, BAP don't lose anything by being on high ground, so they have no reason to drop, but you do. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So you should just be getting in their face, let your BAP Juno do their thing. This whole chasing onto soldier crap is like real. Like, this death is criminal. Like, we could have healed him better, but also the reason that he dies is because you're just doing no damage. He's doing, like, Jedi runs away on the angle, lives for a long time. There's just not enough punish on that. It's because you guys are on the floor.
Yeah.
Or not on the floor rather.
I think what makes me scared to drop high ground is not being able to, like, if somebody goes after my supports, not being able to, like...
Yeah, I understand that, but screw them. Their problem. Their problem, not yours. Their problem, not yours, right? So, like, if you're forcing point right now, then you're immediately forcing resources on you. So then if the venture goes top, that's fine because it's just the venture. It's nobody else. Whereas you just saw it there. If you didn't put enough pressure, then they just walk on top of your backline and kill them. And there's nothing that you can do at that point.
I think the problem later in with me and Newt on high ground is that the Lucio kept booping us off or booping us into the void.
Sure.
And I was really struggling with that.
That's fine.
I don't think I died to that.
Yeah, I should hope not, right?
Granted, I do have more mobility when it
I was going to say, as you know, that should be pretty hard to die there. But yeah, like, and you see it here, like, we're able to deal with the Lucio trying to go for top because it's just the Lucio, because we're phase tanking this Moira, we're phase tanking this Zarya. There's no ability to help, right? And if Newt dies here, I mean, no offense, skill issue, you know what I'm saying? You messed up your resources, you got knifed again. The Stern Queen's been abusing you guys with these knives. That's just she screwed up. It's fine. Go next, you know? So like, don't worry about it. But I will say, the off-angling, the use of high ground here, the Tracer on the flank, the BAP Soldier, the Zarya, I mean, this looks good. Like, for the first time in a long time, this spacing looks good. And it shows, right? So, like, look at our spacing here. You know? And the nice thing about this Newt as well is with information, you can be free to rotate as however you like, right? Your BAP's a little slower, but you could rotate if there's nobody here, just rotate all the way to here. Okay. You know, create some space. Like, you've got that verticality. You don't need to be here necessarily. You can even go up into here. But yeah, I mean, do you see, by the way, real quick though, but do you see the difference, Alex, with like how painful this rotation has been for them? You're like, oh, I can't be there to peel. Yeah. But look at this. They're all dead. Only thing I'd say here is just, you know, shoot them more, do more damage. But your backline's fine. You see that? They use their cooldowns, they live the engage, and because you and Tracer were there, they all died. Now, it could have been done better mechanically, like you guys had many opportunities to secure kills, but it was all right. Okay, so let's talk fight planning here. So spacing, play to the spaces that complement your characters. This round has also been much better with people not overextending. We've not had Goofy dying first before the fight starts. Alex, the same goes for you. The positioning from high ground's been a little bit simpler, so it's made it easier for our backline to control lanes and angles. What about fight planning here? Look at our old economy here. What should we... Let's just start with what should our opening be? If there's a clear answer, which I don't think there is.
I mean, I could have called Matrix and we should have played more together to prepare for the Matrix.
Okay, let me disagree with you there. So Matrix is fine, but you don't have to necessarily play more together.
Okay.
Because think about it this way. If the Matrix forces them all to hide behind a corner, who's going to punish that corner? You need your Soldier, you need your Tracer, or the Zarya, correct. Yeah, or even the Juno, right. Yes, please.
I think if Soldier pushed like left side, that main like coast area, like on the other
all
side
the way here?
Yeah, like all the way over here, and then the BAP popped window up top, that would have kind of forced them back into their spawn, so they wouldn't have been able to just fall around that corner, maybe.
I mean, you just nailed the value of off angles, right? Is like you create no cover. There's no way to disengage the BAP window without opening themselves up to something else, correct? And let me ask you a question, Newt. If you go with your Soldier on that flank, do you feel safe?
Yeah, because then he's ulting, and all they really have to do is
they
can do is fall back, and then
and then you have your Tracer marking the other angle, so they can't surround you, right? So worst case scenario, you'll have a Venture in your face with both your cooldowns. Worst case scenario, right? So that's kind of the creativity I'm looking for here, right? Like open with a visor on the flank, open with a BAP window, use one and then use the other. That's fine. Okay. So I like parts of our map control here. I like Alex being proactive, pushing stuff. I like the Tracer on the flank. I'm just concerned a little bit about a 3-man stack here. It's a little too tight, and I'm also concerned that we're not going to use an ultimate, whether Visor or BAP window, because if we want to use one, we should use one now. Now, to be clear, Alex pushing this Venture, I'm going to be very clear, is fine. Why? Because if Alex is doing this, what would the Venture be doing without Alex here?
Pressuring our backline.
Going here, right? Now, what could Alex be doing if Alex was not here? Well, shooting the Jungle Queen. Which one's more valuable? Doesn't matter. Either one. Whatever Alex sees is fine, because this simplifies the problem for you guys. You see what I'm saying? So, Alex, this is good. You can choose either one that is based off of your convenience. This would apply to D.Va as well, and just roll with it. The problem here is where our window, no pun intended, for using our ultimate is closing, because they are literally closing on top of us, right? So as they get closer and closer, the value of BAP window and visor gets lower and lower and lower. Do you see what I'm saying? So the problem here is not opening with visor. This is fine, and honestly may still work. The problem is that it let this Lucio do this. The guy was literally in the open for 5 seconds and we didn't pop window or visor. You understand? That's the problem here. So while you guys are going to win this fight, I probably wouldn't drop their Jedi. I'd probably try to just be patient. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. We need more from Alex in that front and less from you. But yeah, I mean, you guys actually have an ultimate. You use the ultimate. Your starting positions were decent, and so we're going to win the fight. However, the reason that got so spooky is because we just didn't press Q soon enough, right? We were too worried about they might disengage the visor. They're not going to disengage the visor here. And even if they do, somebody's going to die for it. So, okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And like, I think a good thing to note here is that this specific team, as well as the next replay code, they are both like high masters, and I think their lowest was like a low diamond.
Sure.
So us for being a average SR as being like mid plat. There was a lot to learn from this because there was some very good moments.
Sure. I agree. I mean, you guys are playing fine.
We got stomped pretty hard in the third round, though.
Well, it's not a surprise looking at your comp, right? Soldier, BAP, Juno. I mean, not good on that map, right? Like, it's doable, but it's going to be tough. There are just very little spaces for you to play. So, again here, what needs to be called? What needs to be called? What needs to be called? Something. BAP window. It has to be used now.
Yeah.
Has to be now. So, it's not bad.
Okay.
It's not bad. We get booped off, but at least we tried. The Juno ult could have been used sooner. Now it's too late. And see, this is the problem, the classic problem that we saw even with the last round, where we don't just do it soon enough. And so then by the time we do it, it's over. Like, especially with this comp, they've closed the distance. You guys are cooked. Okay.
So it's a bit better to be, more proactive on our ults. Maybe even give them a little bit too early than give them too late.
Well,
I think is a good takeaway, right?
Yeah. I mean, let's put it this way. You guys are leaning more towards too late. That's the problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not better to do this. It's better to just do it good. Do it at the right time when they've started fighting. And you guys are through, I think, partially through the fear of misusing an ultimate, not using them. That's the key thing.
Yeah.
Like, if you grab this, Alex, I will be happy right now. You're like, oh, but we might not get a kill off. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Just use it right now. Fight started. Go. You see what I'm saying? Solo graph, Tracer, Moira, Lucio. I don't care.
Yeah.
Anyway. We need a kill now. Like, we're not going to get a fight again if we don't get a chance to.
And
you see what I'm saying?
I did actually realize that after I was like, oh, that would have been a good spot to use my ult even if I just got one kill.
Exactly. Like, that would have been crucial. That would have allowed a retake here.
Is a way of thinking of this also like if they commit some resource, like if they're committing to coming in, that's a good time to use the ult once you see that. Like,
if you're committing yourself, like right now, are we pushing right now? I mean, clearly, right? Like, Juno is, I don't know what Newt's doing. Newt, you tend to be on your own sometimes, but that's all right. We'll talk about that in a second, but like, we're clearly pushing, right? Like, this is an engage. Look at my soldier, look at my tracer. So what should we be using an ultimate now if we have one? Absolutely.
Okay.
Right. So first opportunity we get to get a grav here, we should use it, right? If we had visor, if we had pulse bomb, if we had anything, right? So I want to see what's going on here. What's going on with the Newt on a lane here?
Yep.
Yeah, see, this is the problem, Newt. You're thinking way too much about individual people. Stop caring so much. Straight up.
Okay.
Like, no, I mean, it's a very reasonable problem to have, but you got to care about you. You know what I'm saying? So you go here, this lane, you helping Soldier would be great. You helping Zarya Tracer would be great. But which lane feels safer for your character, more valuable? You know what I'm saying?
Zarya Tracer.
Right, because this is just more open space. It's not because it's Zarya Tracer. If my Zarya Tracer went in here, I mean, it'd be okay, but it'd still be spooky. I might prioritize my Soldier here, because it's just a better sight line for me, right? So this is what keeps happening, is you keep thinking about certain individuals, and then you end up in these really awkward spots where you're either chasing the target or you're in the open yourself, or both. You see it? Now, should Jedi be here? It's all right. It's a really risky flank, to be honest. But it did force a big response. Okay, so everybody freaking chases and kills Jedi. All right, you know what, Jedi? Fine. We create some space. Look, that's going to help. But it's only going to be, his sacrifice is only going to be worth it if you guys actually do something about it right now. Sometimes people are just going to be dead. You know what I'm saying? So just let him die. Huge grab. Huge shots. Very nice mechanics. Yeah, beautiful. And that's kind of like my point, right? Like, Jedi died on a lane, forced a ton of resources, and then that gives us a massive 4-man grab and everybody dies. Good job. Good job, guys. That was good. And I want to clarify again that like it felt again like we actually were taking some space. Soldier flank, Zarya Tracer cleaving in. It was good. It was fine. Nice job.
Yeah.
All right, I want to see what happens here.
I had not one but 2 stupid plays here, just in advance.
They were
I
playing-
recognize those, and you'll
That's
see
fine.
because they were both really bad.
Later in this match, they're playing very, very aggressive.
I can smell blood. This is the same freaking mistake you guys on first point, where we want to go to height, right? We need a high ground. No, you can't unless it's free. Your soldier BAP just don't have the range mechanics to be able to fight for this space. You're gonna get run over. Zarya fighting here, Juno kind of lurking back here would be fine. But then Jedi, where should you be right now? Let's be honest with the information that you have.
Probably on point.
Probably on point, somewhere hiding way over here, you know?
Yeah.
Just now if they're here, well then you guys get a free rotation to high ground. Perfect, right? But that's just not the reality here. You guys are cooked. Because even if they don't boop you here, look at our vision, look at our map control here. Honestly, I'm kind of like Zach, I was kind of disappointed to see you move back here because this is better. Like you could heal and damage from here.
Yeah.
Now you're just you can only heal, and if you get run over, they're on top of you. Bam, you're dead. So we already talked about the weaknesses of your composition this map, but if you're gonna make it work, you're gonna need to open up your sight lines and play wide open lanes and just focus on shooting these guys in the face. You know? Yeah. You don't need to close the distance. Don't brute force positions because Alex says so, you know? And that's something for you to work on, Alex, right? It's like let people
100%.
control the space that they want to control, and as long as we're working together, it's fine. If you, Alex, had been fighting the space yourself with a Juno pocket and a BAP here and a soldier here and a tracer here, you would have murdered all of them. And you guys would have won this fight. I have full confidence in you guys. But with the space you guys are controlling, impossible. Literally impossible.
Yeah.
Let's look at the next code here. We got some few more minutes here if you guys don't mind running a few minutes over.
No, that's perfectly fine.
Okay. Any questions so far?
How can I still like be an in-game leader without micromanaging?
Okay, well, what do we need you to in-game lead?
We're
did we talk about?
looking for in-game leading engagements as well.
Well,
as
what
well
about
as
engagements? What does engagements mean? Be specific.
The space where we want to fight as well as
Now,
the
hang
timing.
on. Okay, so we already discussed the first point, though. The space where we want to fight. Are we sure about that? See, that's one of your problems, is you're deciding what everybody else is going to do in terms of the space that we want to fight. Does that make sense? I don't want you to do that anymore.
Okay.
If you're saying, I want us to hold close, I want us to fight near point, I want us to give the space or push up, that's fine. But those are very general terms, you know, so that like they're just general areas that we want to fight, not the specifics of the angles. If you said, guys, I'm going to try to contest this high ground, that's fine. But don't tell other people to do it for you. Now, the second point is the most important one, which was the timing. What does that mean? How is that IGLing?
That's just coordinating the strike on the enemy team to make sure that our team is, all pressuring those different angles at the same time to get maximized efficiency.
So let's for fun think back to that final round on Oasis University, and let's do the setup that I wanted you guys to do. BAP kind of lurking around, Soldier on the angle, Tracer on the angle, Juna kind of lurking back, and you're kind of fighting that high ground. What's the timing call there?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
So just think about our setup for Oasis University, right? How we wanted you to set it up, how I wanted you guys to set it up, how you guys as individual heroes wanted to set up. How do you call timing in that engage there? How does that even call? This is a trick question. I'm just going to forewarn you.
I think I would have asked if everybody was like ready with their positioning and then counted us in.
Counted us in? So where is your soldier going to go?
Our soldier would be playing that, that room.
But he's already there, no?
Then it would be when he would probably peak and start to use resources like helix rockets.
But do you think he's already using those from point blank, Jedi? I mean, you tell me. What would you do in that room? You'd be shooting, no?
Yeah.
What about my Tracer? I mean, she's already fighting, right? Like, there's no change here. So actually, what's the timing call that you're making here? Is this a tough question? I don't know. I don't blame you if you don't know.
Maybe of when I'm starting to push.
But you're just holding that space, no? You're just kind of shooting them and waiting for them to walk over, right?
Yeah.
So do you notice how awkward this is?
Yeah.
Even have any idea what the call should be in that situation? Or even on the first point. Remember the first point when you guys had the soldier BAP on high ground? And you guys are like, what's the timing call there? They're retaking, right? What's the timing call there?
As soon as we win the fight, maybe.
Okay, but what's the timing call? Like, what are we waiting for? When are we committing resources? When are we using our ultimates, right? In that first point, we have the high ground, or the third point when we're waiting for them to drop onto us.
Maybe when we force our resources, or...
But how are you forcing resources? You know what I'm saying? Like, when do we use our ults? Like, when is our timing when we don't want to push? When we're waiting for them to push? What's the timing call? You get what I'm saying?
Maybe once they start to commit.
That's it. Right. So it's actually not up to you when you push. It's up to them.
Okay.
So in situations when you guys are not wanting to push, when you got good map control, like even the second point, remember you guys were all on high ground, right? When should we have tactical visor? We should have used our visor sooner. Why didn't you use it sooner, you fool, right? But really, what were you waiting for? You were waiting for them to walk onto point. Remember that, Jedi?
Yeah.
So that was not your timing call. That was them making the call. But you're still saying, okay, I'm visoring, right? That's kind of what I'm expecting. Does that make sense? So when you guys want to push, that's when we need an IGL. When you guys don't want to push, that's when you, Alex, say, as soon as they walk forward, let's do this.
Okay.
But you're waiting for them to do it.
So then I have a question about like ult usage and stuff.
Sure.
How much of those should we be like counting down to doing versus just kind of when they walk on point use it? Like,
Well,
do you
it's
still give a
the same
countdown
answer,
then?
right? It's the same answer. When do you want to push versus when do you want to hold space? Depends, right?
Okay.
If you want to hold space, then you should know exactly what ultimate you're using, and you'll let the enemy team decide when. When they push, we will use it. If we're trying to push, like, do you remember when I said the retake with Jedi on the first point was really bad? He should have gone right. He was with the team. Remember that?
Yeah.
If he'd had visor at that point in time, is he calling or counting down a push? Yes. Wait, guys, are ready? Okay, we're ready. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. I'm pushing from the. You got it? But what if Jedi had visor on high ground? Remember that visor on high ground? Remember that? On that first point. Was that a Jedi calling the visor timing, or was that the enemy team calling the visor timing?
That would have been the enemy team.
Enemy team, right, because we had all the space, so they need to walk into us. So the mistake there was Jedi had an angle to push with visor and didn't. Bad. And then he made the opposite mistake. We had space, and then he tried to push with visor while standing on high ground. No. Let them decide the timing of the visor. Do you guys see the balance there?
Yeah.
Let the enemy team dictate the timing of your ultimates when you have space. And when you don't have space, you need to dictate the timing of the ultimates. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and that applies to non-ult situations as well. Like right now, we're kind of trying to take some space here, okay? So first off, composition, ignoring the Roadhog foolishness, which honestly, he's pretty good in this map. It's better. I like Juno Kiriko a little bit better on the more compressed maps. I like the Cassidy a little bit better on the more compressed maps as well. Now, in terms of space that we're controlling, what's the major obvious issue right now?
We've got nothing like contesting that room.
Well, you don't necessarily need to.
Or their backline.
You don't have characters to contest that room, no? Where's my Reaper? Where's my Rhine? You don't have that. Okay, so then what space can you contest with the characters that you're playing? Focus on what you can do, not what you can't do.
Okay, our Tracer could probably be contesting maybe that Ana since she's
that's
alone.
what she's trying to, right? Like, we just started. She's on the way to do that. I don't have a problem with that. This Goofy's uncontested. Remember, we talked about that in the first point. So Goofy's going to do what? Well, going to keep going, hopefully, right? Or capping point, one or the other, okay?
And maybe Juno, Kiri, Kiri, Cass could have contested that high ground.
Sure. You
kind
could.
Kind of where his marker is, but actually on top of it.
Sure. My point here is, why am I running double support? Like, remember when we had the problem earlier where I was like, we really don't want our double support stacked on top of each other most of the time, right? But I gave you guys a little bit more slack because BAP, Juno, King of the Hill, it's difficult to find sightlines. You guys are running Kiriko. There's no excuse right now. No excuse. Where should my Kiriko be right now?
With the Tracer, maybe?
That's correct. You guys have that flexibility. We need our Kiriko here. If you do not get your Kiriko here, there will not be enough damage onto this backline or front line. If you don't get enough damage to this backline, front line, you're going to die. Suzu's not going to be enough, right? And so that's the problem. Right now, we're not controlling the space that makes sense for our characters. My Roadhog is controlling space for the characters that make sense. This feels good for Roadhog, right? Good space. This also feels good for Cassidy. This feels pretty good for Juno, I'd say. Like, it's not bad. Like, maybe a little bit more rotation, but it's not bad. But Kiriko, this doesn't make any sense at all. You can't see anything.
Yeah.
You're stuck in your own back line. And if they do get on top of you, they're going to run right down your teeth. There's no space. So the fraud here is the Kiriko, right? Now, I told you guys I was going to, each of you guys was going to look like a fraud at some point in this review, right? So if anybody feels stupid, trust me, everybody feels a little bit stupid. We've all been there. Don't sweat it. But Kiriko needs to be controlling space. She needs to be on her own lane. Because Goofy will not be able to do enough without help, and you won't be able to do enough selfishly yourself. Like, look at how bad this feels. Everything's right there. It is, right? So, ironically, the person that wasn't quote unquote playing aggressive enough, I hate that term, died first. Why?
Yeah.
Because it's not a Kiriko angle. Now, what if you've been playing Lucio? What space would you want to have controlled here as Lucio? What room feels good for you?
Probably the room where I'm playing currently. Or
Yeah, kind of, right? Like, kind of here. You're like, oh, but can I even do anything versus an Echo? Yeah, you can. Chip, run, heal, distract, live, hide, run, go back in, right? Sure.
Or what about under casting Fury in that room? It has a mega pack, and I could play Torch Point if we need to.
Sure, but there's nothing to do here right now. There's nowhere to go.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? So you could hard flank with your Tracer and run all the way behind, or you could just hold the space here. It's fine.
Yeah.
So this is just a lack of space control at the start of this fight. That's all. In terms of this, the spacing and the Echo kills your Juno. Well, why did Echo kill your Juno? Because Echo killed your Kiriko. Well, Echo and so on, right? So I think overall compositionally, this composition makes a lot more sense for what you guys can play. Roadhog's good in this map. He's flexible. Tracer, Kiriko are good. Juno, Cass is fine. Now, this is where are we waiting for the enemy team for the timing, or are we making our own timing here, Alex?
We're kind of waiting for the team to make the enemy team.
Now, do you have space or do you not have space? That's the key question.
We don't have space right now.
So you must make your own timing. Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's the general rule I want you guys to practice. If we don't have space, we need to make our own timing. So what are you calling here, Alex? You're not micromanaging. What are you calling? The timing for you to do what? What are you going to do right here?
Maybe once that ball goes in, timing killing him.
See, but you're still waiting for him to go in. You see what I'm saying? Don't do that.
Yeah.
Walk forward, take space, and then if he goes in, punish him. But if he doesn't go in, you've taken space and you're trying to kill people anyway. So walk forward and start shooting people. That's your timing. And so what we can do is, if I say I walk forward, I'm timing, that means that there's going to be some distractions that will allow Tracer to do what she wants to do. Now, again, I'm going to clarify the spacing here is really, really, really bad right now. This Echo's getting a free lane. My Tracer's unsupported. My Kiriko doesn't have a sight line. And frankly, I think we could be a little bit more focused on marking these angles as Cassidy and Juno. But the biggest problem here is that my Kiriko just isn't taking space. And so she's dying. Yeah. She's getting her resources forced. My Tracer's not getting enough pressure. Like, you guys kind of absorbed this dive. Like, maybe Cassidy dies anyway, but there would be a lot more punishment for that if my Kiriko is actually taking space. So I'm not going to beat the dead horse here. You guys are not spacing appropriately, which is a huge problem. Now, let's wait until a significant ult fight here. And let's talk about some things that, okay, well, hang on. How do you guys actually win this? Ball overextends. Good shot in the venture. Very poorly timed attack. Still no space. Tracer gets, yeah, so that was really well done. You guys are getting dove. Tracer's capping point. That's beautiful. Echo dies. Or accuses ult. Yeah, see, that's just, you guys need, this is hurting my eyes, like what I'm seeing right now, right? Like, no help here, no help here. Let's skip ahead to where we actually have a cohesive fight here. Okay, so do we win this? Okay, this is the question. Okay, what should we do right now? What should we do?
Tracer might be pressuring that Yu Yang.
Sure. So Goofy needs to be on an angle. Pingu, what do you need to do?
Take a wider sight line, probably.
Sure. And then press Q. Do
Oh,
it
yeah,
right now. Do it right now.
Alt.
Don't wait for something to go bad, right? Don't wait for them to go bad. Like if we are pushing, we are
Yeah.
engaging, use it. You see what I'm saying? Don't be scared.
Yeah.
Use it. Just use it. That you will live here, and in worst case scenario, you'll die in a blaze of fury, and somebody else will die for it too on the enemy team. But this is like a good attempt, but we must use it. So Kitsune comes out, but it's too late, and that's just like the classic problem with us, right? Last thing I'll do is I'll judge the quality of our composition and spacing on this map, and then we'll wrap it up. But yeah, see, this is the danger. If we don't take good space and don't do the basics, we can start to kind of throw stones, be like, okay, we need to solve this. This ball's killing us. This echo's killing us. Nothing is really wrong with your comp. Like, honestly, like that last composition you guys ran, Hog, Malga, whatever, Kiri, it's like the best comp that you guys have played, right? In terms of like the map, right? Whereas this, I mean, it's a little sus. I'm not going to lie with you guys. Diva's fine. Reaper is not Reaper's okay. Reaper's definitely a comfort pick here. But we're going to need the same problem. Like, we're going to need an angle. We're going to need some a slightly different sight line, but we're just getting destroyed, right? Like,
Yeah.
Alex is fine marking Venture, so that means that it's just ball. I mean, there's just no... But I also feel like this might be one of those moments where it is just a little bit of mechanics. Like, you get a couple of shots from Wuyong, ball rolls in basically uncontested, and then just kills your cast. Like, there's no like macro problem here. You just fumble the bag, right? Everybody fumbled the bag here. It happens. Don't worry too much about it. But I guess one thing I'm kind of highlighting here is it's getting a little bit old to see Alex aggressive on an angle, to see Goofy aggressive on an angle, and I've got the three of you guys clumped and not helping either lane and then dying anyway, and partly dying because you are clumped, right? Like, if we were to drop the split better, who could go with Alex on right side here? Who could go with Alex on main? What do you guys think? Sure. Right? Sure. Go for it. You know? Give it a shot. See what happens, right? Like, I'm not saying go isolate yourself completely, but it's not exactly feeling better here, right? So, okay, so let's simplify this process really fast. What are the main 3 things that you guys can practice in any ranked game, in any scrimmage?
Pressing Q.
Okay, right. Number 1, plan the first ult for sure, but also if you don't have the perfect plan, just use it. It's fine. Number one. That one's the easiest to fix and biggest bang for your buck, okay? What are some of the slightly more tricky but also important things to practice?
Timing.
Okay, what about your timing?
Specifically timing our ults a bit better as like on engagements rather than when the engagement goes bad.
Sure. So maybe something for you specifically, Alex, is like, when are we taking space? Then we need to call the timing of our push, not the spacing.
Yep.
If we're holding space, we don't have to try and rush the ult, wait for them to come in, and then snap the trap shot.
Yeah.
Okay?
As well as for specifically me, probably just not micromanaging as much, letting my team do what they need. Just yeah.
You can call the timing. I mean, you can even call when you think the trap should be snapped. So, like, if you're like, we're going to use BAP, when do they push? And you're like, I think they've pushed. Let's go. Like, you can call if you want to. But do let Zach decide where. Let Zach decide where to position that, right? So, okay, that's a great one, okay? So the timing of when we engage, Alex calls timing. When we get engaged on, Alex calls timing. But we're not forcing bad pushes and we're not micromanaging our positioning. Okay, what about the positioning and the space control side of things? What was the big principle from Oasis? What was the big principle from Ilios?
Take the correct fight for your space or life.
Correct. So notice that addresses both problems. On Oasis, you guys were taking good angles, but they were the wrong angles for your characters, right? Mm-hmm. On Ilios, my supports, specifically Zach in that one particular situation, just wasn't taking space at all, right? So even if it was the wrong angle, we would have liked you to have taken any angle to help us get out of that choke. And that was the problem.
Yeah.
So and that also goes for you too, Pingu, because that was some of that on Oasis too, where you were kind of confused about where. Just go for your lane. Find your lane, whether it's with a DPS or a tank, and you'll be okay. All right. Now it applies to all characters: Ana, Juno, Kiriko, Lucio, whatever. Find your lane. +1 somebody, as in preferably go with a teammate because that gives you some healing utility. But it's very flexible in that front. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, it is going to be challenging to get that timing on pushes right when you guys are flipped. Flipped, I say, as in you guys are split, sorry. But that is the macro of Overwatch, is what's the balance between good off angles versus staying together on the same page, and working on both of them individually is really important. So the way I'd practice that is I'd go into a ranked game and I'd go into a scrimmage and I would just train ult planning, the first ult, and just using your ults. Or I'd practice everyone finds the lane that works for them, or let's practice the timing of when are we using our abilities and so on. So yeah. Any questions, y'all?
Is there any tanks that like would help me like learn those fundamentals a bit better? Like tanks that I should be learning to kind of fill in where Diva fits a bit better?
No,
especially for when she does get banned.
No, do whatever you want.
All right.
No, it's totally fine. Yeah, no, it's totally up to you. Diva's very flexible. Any tank that you add to that pool, Malga, Zarya, anything will only complement Diva, because Zarya will be better in the more compressed maps, with less verticality, or Malga will be better, honestly, in the same thing, but maps he has a little bit, he's good in Flashpoint and stuff too. So, it really does not matter whatsoever. Like, that principle applies to all tanks. Don't worry about it whatsoever.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, y'all. It was a pleasure. Obviously, these are a lot of the good news about all this stuff is it's going to scale infinitely, right? To understand these things is good. Like, that's great. I'm proud of you guys. But to execute and practice these things is challenging. However, like the Lucio thing that we talked about, you don't need to do it perfectly for it to be worth doing. So don't be too harsh on yourself. It's going to be challenging. There's going to be a lot of trial and error. There's going to be other things that feel badly. And to be frank, you guys are still plat players, right? It doesn't matter how cohesive you are if you just die in a flank every time because they've got a GM5 Tracer OTP. You get what I'm saying? So don't worry about it. Do the best that you can. We're going to amplify and multiply the talent and the skill that we currently have. Enjoy playing together. This kind of stuff is like honestly amazing. I wish I'd had more of this when I was your age, like 45 years ago. Have a good time, set reasonable goals, and enjoy the process, all right?